This conference will now be recorded.
Perfect. So before we start off, like what what is what before I start off the agenda, what exactly we are going to cover, I would request if you can have a quick introduction about yourself. If in case anyone wants to give, you are more welcome to unmute yourself and just give a brief intro about yourself so that all of us can get familiar with who we are, what we do, and why we are all here.
Sir, I'm not able to see the screen, sir.
Mronalini, I have not shared my screen yet. I'm just asking for your introduction. Would you be interested in introducing yourself?
Myself, Mridalini. So before I have work experience as SEO and search engine optimist analyst. So
Mm-hmm.
that's completely non-IT background.
Absolutely.
Now I want to shift to the IT background, so I have chosen this course.
All right. Perfect.
Yeah, so from my side, I am a manual tester last 3 to 4 months. So I'm a fresher in this field, so that's why I take the session for my knowledge.
Perfect. Perfect. Noreen, show me about you. All right. Thank you, Noreen, for the update. No problem, guys. Without wasting much of introduction stuff, let's quickly get what exactly software testing is, why we all are here, and what all we'll be covering as a part of this particular course. Right. Perfect. Perfect. Noreen, thank you so much. All right, guys. I'll quickly be sharing my screen. Let me know once you all can see the screen. And is my screen visible to all?
Yes, sir.
You can see it. Stop sharing. Now you might not be able to, right? All right. So first of all, we are primarily going to understand what exactly software testing is, why testing, and who am I, right? So if I have to introduce about myself, my name is Akhil. You can call me Aman. So it's kind of a nickname that I kind of have, right? You call me Akhil, Aman, either things would work. Just to give you a heads up, my name's Akhil, and the overall trainer's intro, if I give you, I have an overall experience of 7.5 to 8 plus years. I'm currently working as a test lead. The domains I have worked on is e-commerce. Mronalini, since you are from SEO, you might know what domain is, right? E-commerce, learning, healthcare, life sciences, iGaming, etc. The tools and technology, if I talk about, I have worked on API testing using Postman, Jira, TestRail, manual testing, Agile, etc. Right? Mobile testing. So all these words are kind of a buzzword for you. You do not need to worry about them. Before deep diving into what exactly we are going to do, the very first thing is to understand what we are going to cover, right? So this is all introduction about myself. Now coming to a point as in what we all are going to cover as a part of this particular curriculum. So I hope you can see this particular screen, right? So this is the course that we are going to cover. What is software? Why software? Why software testing, difference between software, hardware, difference between bug, defect, lifecycle, fault, failure. And then we have a lot of stuffs coming in for software development lifecycle, test team roles and responsibilities, covering all the basics of manual, what needs to be done, why, etc., dynamic, black box, white box, Scrum, right? Then we will jump on to different techniques. For example, Agile, waterfall model, right? What are the different components of Scrum? What is product backlog, Scrum ceremonies, product owner? Now, once we cover this, then we will be hopping on to API testing. Now, API testing is by API. What is API? Different tests performed using API testing, best approach, and stuff, right? Once we will do some kind of theoretical part, we will go to Postman, which is a tool used for API testing, and there will be performing some hands-on experience over there. Right, we'll see how exactly API can be debugged and stuff. Don't worry about what is API, why API, right? Everything will be covered later on in the modules. I hope everyone is fine with English. Is there anyone who is not fine with English? Please do let me know. English, Hindi, both language will work for you. All right, English is good, fine. I take it as a yes for everyone then. All right, guys. So first thing first, right? Can anyone please explain me what is a software?
A
Anyone here?
collection of
Who?
executable programs.
Okay, and when we say executable programs, what do you mean by executable programs? Anything that comes to your mind.
which
Mm-hmm.
uh, which written through some logics.
Which is written through some logic, right? Anyone else who want to take this particular thing up? Okay, I take this again as a no. Perfect. So let's try and understand what is a software. So if you go by the definition that is shared on the screen, what you see is it is a set of instructions, data or programs used to operate computers and execute specific tasks, right? Now when we say execution of specific task, what do you mean by that? For example, when you enter in a kitchen, right? Let's try and understand with some real-time example. When you enter in a kitchen and you need to drink water, what is the first step that you will do?
Pour the
Anyone?
water from a pitcher.
Exactly, right? Pour water from pitcher. Second thing, I think the language, okay, maybe, right? You hold the water from a pitcher. Please ignore if the spelling is incorrect or so. First thing first, you hold the water from pitcher. Second thing, drink water, right? Two steps. But
Yep.
if I ask you where you're going, you'll say I'm going to drink a water, right? But behind the scenes, you are doing all these two steps. In front, I do not know how you are drinking water, right? Maybe you're drinking with a glass, maybe pitcher, maybe bottle, anything, right? So this, what this will represent, these particular steps will represent executable commands, right? Or it will represent executable actions written or performed behind the scenes, right? So you're not able to see, I'm not able to see how you are drinking the water, but you know, you hold the water from the pitcher, drank it, and then came back, right? In the same way, software, if you talk about, is nothing but a set of instructions, right? Now, everyone knows that software is not written in English or Hindi or any other specific language. It is a technical terminology. That means it is written in a coding standards, right? So it is written in a coding language which computer and other machines can understand, right? I hope everyone understand that software is not written in English, Hindi, or it's not an essay that we write. The lines behind the program or the lines or instructions is basically written in a coding format, right? It's a
Coding
coding
language.
language, right? And then another thing that we primarily talk about is it is opposite of hardware, right? Now, if I talk about hardware, what hardware will that be? For me, right now I'm using MacBook, right? Fan inside the laptop. This is hardware. Mouse, CPU, RAM, ROM, etc. Right? All these things are hardware for me. So anything that is not software but is related to computer is called as hardware. Your CPU, your RAM, anything, any chipset inside your microphones or stuffs, right? So all those things are hardware. So if we again drill down to have some basic understanding of what is the difference between software and hardware, allow me a moment, guys. I think I'll be adding my notes here as well. Yeah, this works. Alright, so just to give you a brief heads up of what exactly software is, what is hardware. Hardware is fan inside the laptop, CPU, ROM, RAM, etc. And software is anything that you use. For example, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, right? WhatsApp, Amazon, Costco website, etc. Right? Now, why I'm saying it's a software? Now, let's take an example of, for example, Costco. Right? I go to Costco, I open the website. My simple goal is that I want to search anything. Let's say, for example, Nike shoes. Right? I hit an enter. The next thing that will happen is maybe it'll go see what exactly I'm asking for and are there Nike shoes available or not, right? So this is a software that I am using. When I enter something, I hit enter. Now there is a processing that goes behind the scenes, right? There is a request that goes behind the scenes, and then based on that request the data is fetched and shown to you on front end, right? Now, this particular
Mhm.
process of where the code is primarily written and you do not see that stuff, that interface is primarily we call as a software, right? So, in layman terms, any application that you use, for example, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, etc., right? Software is equal to application that you might be using in a day-to-day basis. So if we talk about Facebook, Snapchat, WhatsApp, Instagram, right? Any application, any, when I say any, it means ABC, XYZ, whatever app you have on your system, you consider it as a software, right? You
Right.
consider it as application, you consider it as software, development and stuff, right?
Including
Now,
the sorry, I'm
mhm.
sorry.
No,
Including
please go
the
ahead.
by default ones, like settings and including the things that we have by default in our phones or our laptops, right?
Absolutely. See, settings is also something that has been developed, right? It's not
Right.
inbuilt. So someone might have developed it and basis that we have it on our screens or on our systems, correct?
Okay.
Yeah. So all the stuff that you have in your mobile or any application that you download from App Store, Play Store, etc., is what we primarily call as software.
Hmm.
All right. Now comes a yeah, Noreen, you have something?
No, that's it.
All right. Now comes a point in time that why we need software testing. Anyone who wants to take upon it?
Um,
Anyone who want to take a call on why software testing?
To verify and validate the application that which is running without any errors or bugs.
Can you illustrate with a very simple example, Mrinalin? Any small example that you have in your mind? Because your statement is absolutely correct, but people here are either from technical background, maybe, may not be. They would want a simple example to understand it. If you can, please. All right, so no problem, Mrinalini. You have any examples? Yes, no?
No, sir, I don't have any example.
Then from where you got this particular definition, Mrinalini?
Uh, Basically, I'm from IIT background, so I
You,
just got that.
if you're from IT background, okay, no problem. So why software testing? Now we'll take a very simple example that will be very clear with you, or maybe clear to you to understand. First thing first, right? For example, you go to market, right?
Hmm.
Then what you did, purchase, let's say 5 kg apples. First step you did, paid the money to vendor. Fourth step, came back home from the shop and brought back apples. Now then and there is something that happened. Right, now what exactly happened was when you checked the apples, they were rotten. Now why do you think what will happen now, right? There are three cases, three situations that might have happened. The apples when you check now are rotten, right? Now what does this leads to? Wastage of time, money, human effort, more
Right.
cost to be given to the vendor, right? Now why I'm saying more cost to be given to the vendor, because you will go back again, right? And then you will pay more amount of money for 5 kg apples, and then you'll bring back, because end goal is that you want those apples, correct? Now that's the reason why we want the software to be tested in the market before it is launched to the end users, right? So that's what we say, that software testing, and to check that, to perform that, whether everything is working fine or not. We just took an example of Costco, right? Let's go to Flipkart, right? Flipkart is again a website. We just took an example. If I search Nike here or maybe bike, I'm getting the options, right? But if I search anything random, it says sorry, there are no results, right? So that means the functionality is working fine as expected. If I enter any valid value, I should get the answer. If I don't get, I should get a message that whatever you're trying to search is not available, please try something else, or please try searching by some other spelling, right? So software
Right.
testing is basically a method to check whether the actual software product is matching the expected behavior or not. So there is now a problem to understand what is actual versus expected, right? Now, if I talk about actual versus expected, let's take a very simple example. I hope you all are using Twitter. Maybe if in case yes, if no, it's totally fine. But you all might be aware of what exactly Twitter as a platform is, right?
Right.
So the founder of Twitter came to our team, and he said that, hey Akhil, I want Twitter application in such a way that the background should be black, and I should have the happening now. I should have three sign-in options: sign in with Google, sign up with Apple, or I can create my account, right? So what are the requirements? Let's mark it as expected versus actuals. What are the expected requirements? Background to be black, sign up options with either Google or Apple, right? Third thing, I should sign up with new email, right? Now, and then let's consider fourth option as sign in option two, right? These are the four requirements that the owner of the organization is expecting the, like, our team to do, right? Now when we go ahead and developed and tested and the software is ready for us to be given to the market after testing, after everything, right? Now what that happen, when I say everything, it is like a mixture of all the things that go behind the scenes. What that exactly is, we'll be discussing that in the later on sessions in the coming days. But just try and understand that expected was all these four, and actual, for example, now let's try and compare, right? Actual, you were able to deliver, you were able to deliver it, and then you also delivered this, you also delivered this. Now what exactly happens in actual versus expected? When you deliver it, Amina says I can't see the screen. Guys, is the screen visible? Can you all see the screen?
I can see it.
Amina, I would request if you can please drop back and then join again, because people can see if you are still on call. All right, let's continue back again. So expected is this, we delivered it, sign up options, we made it. Okay, and then we delivered it, and then sign in, we delivered it, right? So expected is this, and actual is that what we delivered. Now this is what we delivered, right? Now if the expected is equal to actuals, then we say there is no bug in the software which we developed, right? And then we say that software is bug free. And this entire process of matching the expected versus actuals just to check whether there is a bug or not, the entire process is called as software testing, right? So testing is basically a method to check whether the actual software product matches the expected behavior of the requirements and ensure that the product is defect free. This can be achieved through manual, through automation, both ways. The main purpose of software testing is to identify gaps, error, missing requirements in contrast to the actual requirements. Correct. Now, for example, these were the four requirements that were given to us, right? Just in case, let's take a very hypothetical situation that we do not have the option of maybe sign in with Google, right? And then I do not have an option of, so how am I doing this? We'll also be discussing that, don't worry, right? For now, just take the hypothetical situation that these are four requirements and this is what we delivered. Do you feel there is some discrepancy, Noreen?
What do you mean by discrepancy in what?
Discrepancy in terms of what we are delivering. Like expected was that I need to have a background as black.
Right.
I need to have a sign up option, Google and Apple, and then I need
Yes.
to have a sign in button too. Now
Right.
just have a look. Do I have sign up with Google?
No.
This is missing. Do I have sign in option?
No. No.
Right? This is missing. So when the two
Right.
requirements are missing, expected versus actual again, right? This is kind of a basic mantra for testing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sign in option not delivered. Sign up with Google not delivered. That means simple fact, expected not matching actual, and that means this is a software which has a bug in it, therefore it cannot be released into the market until fixed, tested and checked thoroughly. Correct? Now the reason, for
Right.
example, if you are using Amazon, you go ahead, use Amazon and you release the product in the market, right? So not in them, there might be Black Friday sales there in the US, or anyone who is there from US, Black Friday sales, and then other stuffs, right? Wherein we have a lot of
Right.
wholesales coming coming in on Costco, on the any other website, Amazon, Flipkart, etc. Flipkart is primarily,
Yes.
I suppose, for India, but yeah, all the stuffs that we have, right? So if in case the app goes down for 1 minute, right, there is a huge amount of loss that the organization has to bear. So that's the reason why we say that software testing, a thorough testing of a software, is basically important, and that's wherein the automation and that's wherein the software testing comes into play.
Right.
Right now, as it says that software testing can be achieved through manual and through automation. Now when we say manual, what do you understand by manual, what do you understand by automation? This is something that we are covering in the next slide, right? Anyone who can tell a difference between manual versus automation? All right, no worries. Manual is anything which we do using our hands, right?
Right.
No use of code. Simple, right? Anything that you're using, that you're doing using your hands is a manual work, right? Now you can drink water, you can eat pineapple, you can eat bananas, you can do anything that you want using your hand and fingers is what we basically call as manual work, correct? Now
Yes.
when we say that, what do we understand by manual testing, right? When I, let's say, go to login page and then I enter something using keyboards, I hit enter. Can you see this? Sorry, we could not find your account. I will look again. Sorry, we cannot find your account. Or if in case I have to take an example of Mintra, because let's say I go to login, login. All right, I enter my mobile number and then I give a wrong password. It says incorrect OTP, right? So all the things that I'm performing using my hands right now is called as manual testing. Why? Because I'm
Correct.
not writing any code. There is no language used. There is no technology used behind the scenes. Whatever I'm doing is doing manually, right? No
Right.
use of coding language is manual, right? But there is one important thing that we need to understand, and that thing is basically called as how the business works, right? What are the business requirements, how the things are working behind the scenes. Now for example, I just took an example of Mintra, correct?
Right.
If I do not know what is next, what I need to do as a part of next screen, right? If I enter this, if I clicked on continue, I'm not sure what will happen on the next page, whether I need to enter the OTP, whether it will automatically detect what not, right? Do you think I'll be able to test the application properly?
No.
No, right? So
No.
that's the reason why this slide says that we need to have a strong understanding of the product. We need to have a strong understanding of the software. Only then we will be able to understand what exactly the flow is, how the data flows from one page to another, what are the issues, how the issues can be replicated and fixed and given to the end users, right? You are using your
Mhm.
hand to do certain activities or testing the software, and that's primarily what we call as manual testing. Now,
Okay.
on the contrary to that, we have is automation. So what happens in automation is we use coding standards language to write the scripts, right? We basically use scripts for coding and stuff, right? And that's how basically it goes. So we have Java with Selenium, JavaScript, Python, etc., right? But just wait, just to be very loud, clear, we will not be, doing the automations part here, because this is the majority will be for manual and API part. Right, but then understanding of the automation framework should also be there. Basic understanding of OOPS, language, etc. Again, I have written it in bold. We need to have a strong understanding of the product, software, and the business requirements. Now, if the requirements are not clear, we'll not be able to perform any automations as well. Now just try and imagine if you are, mopping your house. Very simple, loud and clear. Everyone might have done it, right? If I'm mopping my house manually, then that means I know where exactly I need to mop, right? For
Right.
example, if I bring a robot just to do the same work, I need to feed some amount of data into it so that the robot goes into every corner of the house and get the work done, right? So
Hmm.
if you do not know how the system works beforehand, you will not be able to automate that. If I do not know where to click, what to do, where to go, what to write, I'll not be able to write the code which perform those things on its own, right?
Right.
I am just trying to show you if that particular stuff is right now available. If you all can see the Visual Studio screen, just trying to showcase what exactly the automation looks like. If the screen opens up, I'll have a quick check on it. There you go. Right, so this is how basically the end-to-end automation testing also looks like. For example, if I go ahead and let's say if I run test 5, you can see on the screen website opens on its own. It search for something, it search for this, that, select, and then if you see something happens and the test is getting passed, right? If I go back, I might run some other case. Let's say I run test case 6. The website will load automatically, things will happen, things will process on its own, and how everything is being processed, the things are getting processed because I have written certain line of code. Let's run this. Seems to go some maintenance issue, but yeah, just in layman terms, so what we primarily do, we basically go ahead and write certain lines of code just like this helps you in completing up the entire automation part, right? But for that again, coding standards are required, and then you need to have a strong understanding of the language too. Moving to the next slide, why we need automation testing? Very simple, loud and clear. We need to have software testing to ensure that the software is bug free, right? Software should be bug free to ensure that it's bug free first, matching the requirements expected with actuals to ensure that the system and software meets the business requirements. Correct? Now, when we say meeting the business requirement, what does that mean? For example, if I enter an invalid text, then I should see an error message or a warning message. I think we just saw all this. If I go Rumenstra again, just to reiterate what example we just took, I entered anything invalid and then we could not find any matches. So what does the slide says? I should see an error or a warning message. Perfect. If I enter a valid string, then I should see the results. We search for Nike shoes, we were able to see that. Second thing is to ensure that the system meets the end user perspective or different clients and stakeholders. Now, does anyone know what exactly stakeholders means?
Stakeholders are people who have stock in the company, who are invested in the
Right,
company.
absolutely. Now, if you do not do anything that is relevant for stakeholders or that stakeholders want, do you believe, Noreen, that they'll be paying the amount to you or will they back out?
They'll back out for sure.
Exactly, right? So, just like all of you, a very simple example, you all are here, you all be paid, you all will be paying, some of you might have enrolled, some of you will get enrolled, right? And if in case the content isn't that great, what will happen? You definitely are going to, not only you, right? Me, anyone, right? They'll be asking for the refunds and stuff like that. So things happen. You pay for the service, and if you don't get satisfied, you back out. Either you back out or you ask the customer to refund or something happens, right? So the same stuff happens with the stakeholders as well, right? Stakeholders, clients, they are one and the same thing. You need to match their end perspective, you need to match their requirements. Only then they will be investing in you, in your software. Third thing, to make cost effectiveness work. If the bugs are caught in the early stages, then the rework, cost, efforts, etc. are saved, right? So, for example, if you go back to our example, if we have checked the fruits here itself, right, how much time it would have saved? It would have saved my time of not going to market again. It would have saved my cost for 5 kg apples, saved my time for going back to market, coming back again, right? My 2 rounds would have been saved. So it led to wastage of time, wastage of money, human efforts, and more cost given to the vendor. Now that's what this slide also says. That's how the cost effectiveness work, right? All right. Moving on to another yet simple but very conservative and important slide is that what are the skills required to become a good software tester, right? It's not about tester, it's about any field that you work on. Very first thing is written and verbal communication. So, for example, if you have a client that is from your own country or maybe somewhere else, we call it as foreign delegates, right? Foreign clients and stuff. What we generally do is we need to have a strong written and verbal communication, right? Why we need to have written and verbal communication? For example, if the client says there are two ways, right? Let's just try and understand with a very simple example. Hi, Akhil. Hope you are doing good. I'm sharing an email, or please have a look at the email. Simple, right? Regards, X, any person, correct? Now, this is one way you are communicating. Another way of written communication is hi, Akhil, get the work done. Why
Yeah,
don't you check my mails? Right? Which one do you feel is better?
the first one.
The first one.
Absolutely right. So that's where the communication power comes into play. Now that communication can be written and that communication can be verbal. Now I'm talking to you through a verbal communication, right? And definitely I'm also showing some case for written communication. Now if I say very bluntly, hey Noreen, why are you doing, what are you doing, why are you in the session and stuff, right? Or hi Mrunalini, why are you in the sessions, why don't you drop off, something like that, right? That sounds
Right.
very vague, that sounds very unprofessional. So that's the reason why we need to have first skill is written and verbal communication, so that what you are trying to explain client should understand, and what client is trying to explain you should understand. Second thing, passion. If you do not have passion, if you do not have the zeal to learn what we are teaching, what you will be learning down the line, then definitely you might have certain problems in entering into IT. Third thing, tech skills. Although we agree that we do not belong to a technical background, but we will eventually grab all the technical and analytical skills as well. Fifth thing is attitude. If it's positive, either for software testing or any other field, maybe at home, maybe in your life, you will achieve great things. Sixth is productivity. Now, whatever you learn here, go back home, take 15 minutes, revise the session, go back home, take 30 minutes, see the recording and stuff. Only then you will be able to understand what we are doing, right? And going ahead, circling back to what exactly happened, why things are happening. These are certain traits that will lead you to a good software tester, right? Now let's try and understand certain career path that will happen. For example, some of you are freshers, some of you might be freshers, some of you are college freshmen, maybe working, maybe have 4 or 5 years of experience, 3 months, 2 months, whatever it is, right? So when you start off your journey as a QA analyst, as a fresher, right? So you will be given a designation of analyst or something like that. After 2 to 3 years, you will get promoted to senior level. Then again, after 5 to 6 years, you will get promoted to a team lead or a technical lead. After 11 years, you become test managers, senior test managers, delivery managers, accounts managers, and so on. Right? That's how the hierarchy primarily works. Another alternatives of automation, like or automation alternatives for software testing is business analyst, scrum master, product managers, project performance test engineers, automation test engineers, etc. Now these are the stuffs that we will go ahead and tell you, right? You can even switch into development field as Java as well. Certain stuffs that we go ahead and discuss about what are these, why, like product, project, scrum, etc., etc. Right? These are again the skills that you can gain once you know and understand the system, right? If you do not understand the system, you cannot be a project manager. If you do not understand how the data is flowing, you cannot be a business analyst, you cannot be a test engineer, performance, automation, etc., right? So far, anyone has any doubts?
Nope.
No. All right. Now, generally, what happens in the cruel world, right? I should not use the word, but generally, what happens in the world is that this world is full of myths, right? People have different notions, people have different preconceived notions, different perceptions. They see what they believe in, right? Or they believe what they see generally. So, humans have preconceived notions. Developers and testers' salary is the first question. The second thing is career path, right? Software testers are paid less and developers are paid more. The third thing is software testing is boring. Let's talk about very first point. Software testing as a career is paid less as compared to developers. So that's not a question, that's not a correct option. These days software developers, software testers are also paid as equal to software devs, and maybe they are also paid more depending on your current skill set, right? So if you learn something, you evolve with the skills, you learn, continue to grow, definitely things will fall at your place and you definitely will get paid more. But the current market trend says that developer and testers are being paid up to an equality in a right proportion. All you need is a good skill set, communication, attitude, tech skills, and then you definitely land upon a good pay scale. Second thing, software testing is boring. Definitely it is boring. I do not deny the fact that it is not boring. Boring is when you do the same task again and again, right? If you listen to my this particular recording 10 times, you'll get bored. But what if you do, I mean, just you revisit the recording one time and then you get extract what you need and move on to second recording. Extract the notes what you need, move on to third recording, right? Then that kind of stuff will be more fun because you are not doing the same task repeatedly. If you are bored of now, what for example, if you are at Mintra, you got bored out. If I go ahead and do a sign in, right? You again enter the OTP again, you again enter the OTP again. You said, hey, Akhil, I'm bored. What I need to do? There are thousands of things. You go ahead, learn any of the language, get yourself enrolled into the courses because we do provide courses for automations. Maybe that if you want for JavaScript, maybe if you want for Playwright automation using Java, Selenium, etc. Right? We do provide those courses as well. Go ahead, get yourself enrolled into any of the courses that you want for automation and get things done. Right? Now, using those automation, you will be enter the code through scripts, and that redundant work will be more fun now, right? Because you are doing something unique, you are entering into the world of automations, correct? So software testing definitely is not boring. It tests your nerves, right? Since you need to make a lot of business requirements, since you need to understand business, you need to talk to clients, customers, different team members, right? If the user story is with me, then Noreen, you might be talking to me. If the user story is with, let's say, Mrunalini, you might be talking to Mrunalini. So it increases your communication. It gives you huge amount of confidence to reach out to developers, to reach out to team, to reach out to business analysts, understand what they want, try to see what they are doing, etc. Right? Now, what
Hmm.
is boring is you do the same set of tasks repeatedly. The key thing is to try new things. For example, if you have no, that's seriously true. If you go ahead and talk to any of the developer, he will say that how boring his job is recently. Why? Because he's working on the same technology back and back again from past 3 years. He's doing the same sign in form, sign out form, and all the things are already done. He's just fixing those things. He's just not doing anything else which is new in the market. So that's wherein the software developers also feel bored when they are doing the same work repeatedly again and again, right? And then we say myths about software testing is what percentage. If I talk about the statistical percentage of making a shift in your career from being a software tester to any other line easily. But just to do that, you need to have a strong understanding of business. You need to have a strong understanding of requirements, how exactly the business work, how exactly the client needs you, what exactly the requirements are, right? Now if you go ahead, clearly understand what we need, you will be able to understand the stuff, and you will also be able to make an easy transaction from software tester into any of the lines, right? So this particularly marks the end of the session for today. I just wanted to give you a heads up who we are, what we do, right? And just to give you a heads up about the Isha as a training solutions, right? So we basically we are the organizations who provide you all the stuff that you need as in one-stop shop solutions for your training, live training sessions, recordings, modules, and stuff, right? So once you join in, you will be provided with all what you need. So we will act as a one-stop shop for you. Do not worry about that, right? So we are at the end of the part, and I would request if anyone has any queries, doubts, concerns, please do let me know.
Um,
Bef-
I have a
yeah, yeah, no,
question.
yeah, go
Um,
ahead.
you recorded the session. Where can I get the session? Where do I see the video again?
Yeah, so you will be able to see that. Don't worry about that. This is, I think, once you log in or once you enroll in yourself, right? The recording and
Hmm.
stuff would be available.
Oh, awesome. And one more question. I'm sorry. Is it better right now? I'm on the session with my phone. I know that's
Mhm.
not the most professional thing to do, but
No, no,
would you prefer if we had a laptop instead of a phone? Would that be
anything
better?
work. Yeah, if your system permits, if you have the access to laptop, it would be good. Well, if you do not have, then also it's fine.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
if in case you have the access to it, that would be really good. But if in case you do not have, let's say for example, then also it's one and the same thing. So don't worry
Okay.
much on that. When
All
we will
right.
need a laptop, I definitely will tell you in the coming days,
Okay.
right? Before you all hang up, it's a small request. If you can please drop in your WhatsApp numbers so that we can have we'll just form the group and then things get started, right? And it's a small request. If in case you feel everything is fine, go ahead, get your enrollments done so that everything looks good.
Hi, I have one question. How long duration this course?
So Shumi, we basically are targeting it's like a 35 day curriculum that we'll be planning. It would end up close to a month is what we primarily target
And
because it's a
how
day
long would the classes be?
1 hour.
The classes, how long are they?
Classes as in like the timing of the classes.
No, just